Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've just left work Friday afternoon, looking forward to the weekend, and I'm actually on my way to see a friend of mine to pick up the keys for his Pride and Joy. I'm going to try and get you some JDM content on the channel. Talking about JDM cars, check this one out. Just trying to see what it is. I think it's a Toyota, must be a Toyota Corolla, a 1970s model, looking at the number plate. So guys, last night then I went to my mate's house, picked up the keys for his Evo, which I've got right here, and what we're going to do now is go around the car like a walk around, show you some of the key features, and then hit the road and take it for a drive. That exhaust, I think it's due for a kind of a start-up now, isn't it? And some exhaust sounds. So guys, I'm going to talk to you about the negatives about this Evo as a daily. So first of all, this suspension setup on this car, it's like medieval torture. Unless your spine is made out of granite, you are going to feel every single jolt in the road. I mean, our roads in the UK are not brilliant, especially with the number of potholes that we've had. Every single bump that you go over, you literally feel a whole car shake. The other thing about this is the turning circle of this car. It is horrendous. I try to do a 3-point turn on my road, which isn't really that like wide or too narrow, and what should have been a 3-point turn ended up being a 7-point turn. I mean, I'm sure like even a bus would have a much smaller turning circle than this EVO FQ300. And then there's these seats. I mean, these seats are like really supportive, you know, and so they should be as well in a car that's got, you know, sort of 300 horsepower, and it's a very driver focused car. I mean, they support you really well, like, you know, from the hip and the sort of shoulder points. But that's where the good news ends about these seats, because in terms of adjustability, you can't really adjust for height, for lumbar, apart from it just sliding forward so you can reach the pedals and the backrest. And that's quite a shame, really. Maybe at the time Mitsubishi were kind of focused on reducing weight of the car, obviously. Then there's the small matter of fuel economy of this car. I mean, this is a 2-litre turbo petrol car, and when you fill this 55-litre tank up with, like, say, I don't know, £60 worth of fuel or whatever it might be, the calculated range is like something like 160 miles. It just sucks fuel. It just has it for like, oh, I just need to drink, bang. But you don't really buy this car to pick on these negatives, do you? So that's where pretty much all the negatives end, and the positives just literally just kick in. So I've got to make a confession. I've not really driven the previous 9 incarnations of the Evo, so my first time in an Evo. So something about this engine: 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo engine, produces about 290-300 horsepower, 407 odd Newton meters of torque. That might not sound like a lot because you can get that much power now coming out of an FK2, FK8, S3, etc. with 4-wheel drive Golf R. But the way this car is, it's a very much of a driver focused car, especially from a generation where 300 horsepower in a saloon was mega. And it's the way this thing just handles these corners. Back into sports mode again. Just listen to that sound. Hope he doesn't fall off his bike with this sound. And this thing redlines all the way to 7,000. Whoa! You know, I did a video on my M140i, the things I don't like, and one of the things on there was like how the steering feels like there's no kind of feel. Well, this car's got the hydraulic system steering, and it just puts into perspective that you point the car, it turns, and the amount of feedback that you get, really immense. Proper driver's car this. The brakes have a good feel as well. Obviously they got the Brembos. The car's riding on 18-inch wheels, so it's got a fairly decent setup. You don't want to go crazy with, like, say 19s or 20s on this. 20s probably won't even fit, but it's got a good kind of a setup. On these roads, you know, the ride, I was saying earlier on how firm it is. On these roads, it's perfect. Drop it down a few clogs. And this gearbox as well, guys, it's the 6-speed double clutch. Now, the way this gearbox is kind of made, you've essentially got two 3-speed gearboxes bolted onto one kind of a drive shaft. And then you got a double clutch to go with that. So this is the FQ300, meaning 300 horsepower. You can get an FQ360 with 360 horsepower, and the FQ400 for 400 horsepower. Now this car is quick, and I can just imagine how brutal those cars will be. Gear shift is pretty quick. You press on the pedal and it does it. You get a nice little fart as well on the upshifts. Just chewing these corners. Feels like I'm on the rally stage, obviously not, but you know, when you're behind the wheel of an Evo and you got these country lanes. So this Evo 10 then, I'm really impressed with it. Like I said before, I've not driven any previous Evos, the last 9 of them. A lot of purists would probably be thinking, right, you need a manual gearbox in this. I probably can't agree more with you for a more engaging drive, but this TC SST gearbox, it is spot on. You know, the changes are pretty quick. I think one little bit of critique that I've probably got on the driving of this car is that the car could probably benefit from a nice set of tyres. At the moment, I think they're running on the sort of Goodyear tyres. I think my mate should have just literally upgrade those tyres to Michelin Pilot Super Sports or the 4S's, or the 4s rather, because they're 18-inch. Then I think this car will literally be spot on in terms of the confidence that it will give you around those corners. Not that the confidence is lacking, I just think that the rubber, it just needs upgrading. You know, all those negatives that I was saying about this car, running it as a daily, how awkward it is. If you treat this car as a weekend toy, albeit quite an expensive weekend toy, trust me, every mile will be a smile. So guys, I hope you found this content entertaining, useful if you're looking for a Evo 10. Also, like, share and subscribe to my channel for more car related content. I have got something special coming up over the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned. Cheers guys, thanks, bye.